Hi, this is Sam Harris. You might know me from some of the Broadway shows I've done, or TV, or my records, or you've read my book. Oh my God, I'm so busy. I'm so happy to be here talking with Rabbi Sol Solomon on Dave's Gone By at UNC Radio.
Oh, shalom, my friends. This is your old pal, Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And I am delighted and thrilled to be talking to a theater person, even though I feel a bit uneasy, because this man has written a book called Ham, A Slice of Life, of all the possible foods for this guy to be writing about. He has to be writing about ham. But let me tell you, it's all these anecdotes and stories of his life in the theater and also a bit on television. Stephen Holden, the critic, called the book funny, touching, and cheerfully self-deprecating, which I know I have never been in my life. He's got tons of amazing reviews for the book on Amazon.com. By the way, he also won on Star Search. By the way, he's also a Tony nominee. By the way, he's also a Drama Desk nominee. And by the way, his name is Sam Harris, and we welcome him to the neighborhood. Welcome, Shmuel!
I'm so glad to be here. I was actually just going to tell you could call me Shmuel. That's what my friends call me. Shmuel or Shmuley.
Now, this is a weird thing, because in the first chapter of your book, now you're Baptist, right? Or you were raised Baptist, yes?
I was definitely raised in the Bible Belt.
But there's this thing that you went through at a certain age where you really, really wanted to be a Yid. Tell us about this.
Well, I think growing up gay in the Bible Belt, I was sort of looking for, I didn't really get the whole religion from that I was raised in. It seemed a little scary and threatening. So, but I, as an outsider, I was always really relating to other tribes, to other outsiders. In my little town of Sand Springs, Oklahoma, you know, nary a Jew was to be seen, and I really related, probably not so much with the religion as the oppression. And I really went there. I mean, I begged my parents to take me to the only temple in Tulsa, which was nearby, but it was 15 miles away, so, you know, it might as well have been in a shtetl in Minsk or something.
Didn't you used to watch, like, Holocaust movies and get all worked up?
Holocaust. Well, when I was 8 years old, which ironically is my son's age now, a neighbor gave me the Rise and the Fall of the Third Reich. I read it, and, you know, it earmarked the pages about the Holocaust because it spoke to me, and I read it over and over. Yes, there's always been a fascination. Then when I left Oklahoma at a young age, I sort of became an honorary Jew with all my friends, and there was a little bit of celebration, and I got a little tie that I wore around my neck, and I always had all the holidays in my house, and, you know, I'm a non-Jew Jew.
Gay, Jewish, no wonder you wound up in theater. I mean, what else could you have been, for gosh sakes?
There's no choice.
But something happened in between, though. I have to say, it's only fair to say that you went through the Jew phase, and then you did slam pretty hard into the Baptist phase.
Well, I slammed pretty hard into the black phase.
Oh, there you go. Oh.
Not so much the Baptist phase. I kind of eschewed that whole thing. But I did find myself as the only white boy in the black church, which really, there was a different kind of feeling there. It was joyful. It was celebratory. It was about survival. And so I related to that. And, of course, the music, which really affected me deeply and really changed my life and taught me about singing.
Oh, let's not forget also the food, because you go to collation after Shabbos on Saturdays in the temple, you get a little herring with wine sauce and maybe some bread. And at the black church, you get cornbread, they make the fish, there's okra. Oh, my God. No wonder you went black.
The chicken, definitely, yeah. That's important. And I realized later in my whole life, if I have a little grease before I sing, I do a little better. So I think that was my whole soul food connection.
Well, Grease would make sense since you wound up in Grease on Broadway.
What a transition.
Is that a segue or what? Am I good? I am good.
Yeah, excellent, excellent.
Which makes me want to ask, though, what did you learn from? What was it like being directed and choreographed by the one and only Tommy Tune?
Well, he certainly knows his business. You know, he was, first of all, Jeff Calhoun was the primary director on that, and Tommy was supervising. But okay. It was a very creative process, and, you know, it's a little bit of a schlocky show, and so they did some things to make it new and original, interesting, and Tommy was incredible. Tommy was Tommy Tune. He's legendary.
Well, here's the difference. Okay, so you're being mostly directed and moved around by Jeff Calhoun, right? So he's got his style. How would a Tommy Tune be different from a Jeff Calhoun?
Tommy was very known for certain choreographic moments, like that he did in Will Rogers Follies and things, where everybody's sort of sitting in a line and doing some complicated hand gesture that you can't even understand how they could have possibly memorized. And there were a couple of those in the show, and it was painstaking. I mean, we'd rehearse for 8 hours on all these hand movements and flaps and up and down, and, I get a headache thinking about it.
Wow. Well, and by the way, I apologize for this in advance, but I have to do this. We have to take a moment to do this, because in the musical Grease, what character did you play?
I played Duty.
I'm sorry. Just take a moment that he just said Duty. I know.
Duty.
It's juvenile, but I need to...
I'm going to walk while I'm talking to you.
Yes.
My son came home early from school today with a cold and making some matzo ball soup, and I had to turn off the matzo balls. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm turning them off. Oh, they're very plump. These are the fluffy kind.
Are your balls very plump?
No, I really can't answer that question.
I meant the matzo balls. What's the matter with you?
You know what? My son knows. He came home with a cold. His nose is running. He doesn't feel great.
Oh, you should catch it.
Lay down. I'll make you some matzo ball soup.
There you go. That's nice. And I want to talk about the fact that you have 2 children. You have an 8-year-old son. So do you want us to maybe wait a little and come back, or...
No. I'm good. I turned it off. I can just sit there.
Okay. Let it simmer. That's what it is. Let all the matzah goodness seep through it.
Yes.
So, all right, let's jump away from the theater just for a moment, I guess, to talk about, quote-unquote, real life, and the idea that you are a gay man. Are you officially married to your partner, or are you just a partner, or what's the deal with that?
I thought you were going to ask me if I was officially gay.
Oh, I assume you're officially gay.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I am married. We are married.
Mazel, when were you able to do that?
Well, we've been together forever. We've been together for 21 years now.
Mazel.
And thank you. And we got married in 2008 during that window in California before Prop 8 passed, and other people couldn't get married. And I had always long been an advocate, obviously, for equal marriage rights and equal rights in general. And when they wouldn't let people get married, I was very sort of belligerent about it. Like, why do I need your permission to validate my relationship? And part of me was like, I don't need you. I don't need to get married. But then I realized that since I had been an activist for that very thing, and then we had a kid, it was the right thing to do, to be counted, to stand up and say, we are here. So we got married in a lovely ceremony.
Now, can I ask, is your husband Jewish?
No, well, he won't really say he is. Now, you tell me.
Okay.
His name is Jacobson, but with an O-N, so that's marginal. But his mother's maiden name was Drongold, and her mother was Weiss.
Oh, for God's sake.
The math.
They were probably in hiding in Germany. I assume they came from that part of the world with those names.
But I grew up in Chicago in an Irish Catholic neighborhood, and so there wasn't anything else. And I'm like, don't you understand? I want you to be a Jew.
There you go. Well, is he circumcised?
I think...
Oh, you would know.
Answer that.
Come on, you would know. I would hope you would know at this point.
I do know. Yes, he is.
All right. Well, so all these things are very, very possible there. You never know. So, but your ceremony was what? Was it atheistic? Was it Jewistic? What was it?
It wasn't Jewistic. There was no stomping on anything. There was no chuppah, no.
Oh.
It was just more spiritual, It was about 2 people joining, and we in front of our friends, and it was lovely.
Now, you already had a child by then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I
was born in April, and we got married in November.
Well, I think that's wonderful. But how did the child come out? I mean, one of your tuchuses, or what? How did you get one? I'm kidding.
We adopted.
Oh! Why didn't I even think of that? There you go.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not the brightest person in the world. So now, was it easy or hard to adopt? I don't know.
There's a lot of hoops to jump through, but it was we got a child faster than if there had been gestation. We started the process at the beginning of October of 2007, and then met our birth mother in February, and Cooper was born in April.
Mit Mazel. And then, amazingly enough, now understand that I have 21 and a half beautiful children. Well, they're not all beautiful, but after the first one, it was really my wife's doing
What
it.
with the half? What is the half?
The half, well, there's problems. Her head has not formed its proper shape yet, we're hoping. But until that...
Good luck to you.
Thank you so much, I need it. But even after the first kid, I was like, oh, no more. But, I'm Jewish, semi-Orthodox, and the wife, she wants.
You're Orthodox?
Semi.
Okay.
Should have been an orthodontist, but I turned into Orthodox instead.
I see.
But after the first kid, you guys decided, let's have another?
No.
Wait, I thought you had two.
We do. Well, I consider my husband a second child. No, we do not have an actual second child.
Oh, forgive me. I'm sorry, I got that wrong. I thought you had two kids. Excuse me on that.
Neil Patrick Harris, not Sam Harris.
Oh, wait. So, you weren't on How I Met Your Mother? Oh, damn it. Why did I do that? No, I'm kidding.
Do you want to hang up?
No, absolutely not, because you have all these wonderful stories of the people you worked with. People like, I don't know, Aretha Franklin? Hint, hint.
Yeah. Yes. Well, the book has to be read to get the full value of the story. But yes, when I was very young, she had asked me to open for her on a double bill, actually, in Cleveland. And the whole thing was just a disaster. There was a horrible, horrible snowstorm, and it was below freezing, right on the lake there. And then she was very, very late, and then they couldn't find her. And my segment of the show, I kept from the wings, I doing the motion, the stretch. So, and I never got to rehearse with the band, so I sang everything a cappella. Finally, I'm just sitting on the edge of the stage, telling jokes, seeing requests, and then she finally shows up. And the audience, of course, they were just right with me because they could see the disaster that had happened everywhere. And me, I was like, you're pretty pissed off, huh? You've been waiting in the cold for 30 minutes. And so we just sort of bonded. It turned out to be a great experience.
That is wonderful, because it doesn't always happen like that. The audience can very often turn on the opening act. They're like, where's Aretha? Where's Aretha? Everything. They don't want any time for you. That's a great thing.
No. They were right there with me. And this was right after Star Search, so there was a big draw. All of this had been very immediate, and they were there to see me as well. So they were with me. I feel like if you're honest with the people and don't try to bullshit them, then they are with you.
Obviously, Star Search changed your life in every possible way imaginable. I mean, do you think you would have had the career you had you not been like that first one there on Star Search?
Yes. It just would have happened in another way. I was driven and studied and focused, and I always had known what I wanted to do. That thing, the theory about the 10,000 hours, that they say that before something is successful, then you have to have 10,000 hours of having done it under your belt. I had more than 10,000 hours, certainly. It's all I lived and breathed to do. I had convinced all my teachers growing up to let me write and produce and direct and star in extracurricular shows. I was doing community theater. It was my every waking moment. And then I left home when I was 15.
Whoa.
I found my style and myself and my repertoire. So when Star Search happened, it was certainly an incredible platform, and you can't buy that kind of exposure. But I have to say, I was ready. I was prepared, at least creatively.
Now, do you continue to watch the reality contest programs like The Voice and You Think You Can Dance and America's Got Talent and all that, or do you not even bother following them?
Not really. I watched some of The Voice this year because my friend Allison Porter, who won, she and I did a production of Hair together. We were both naked on the stage, and I felt an obligation to follow her and see if she would wear clothes. But she won, and she's spectacular, so I watched some of that. I watch America's Got Talent because my son and I love to watch not only the talented ones, but sort of the crazy ones, like, a man who swallows a light bulb or a bag of nails. Those are always entertaining.
Absolutely. Well, do you agree with the criticism that some theater folk level at the singing competitions and the voice competitions, where they say that the people who are winning or even the people who are competing basically all they're concentrating on is voice production, belting, melisma, the sound of notes, rather than telling a story in song and being proper for the theater.
I very much agree with that, and I think that as a result of that, there's an entire generation of people who think that it's about the sound rather than the intention. You know, and that's why Allison did so well, is because there was a story there. She was saying something from a perspective, from a point of view. That's kind of where I had to always have. I can, whether I'm singing a song or writing or I'm a storyteller. First and foremost, I'm a storyteller, and that is through music, where it's an experience, and you're bringing a perspective and a character, and the song is an extension of your perspective, not that you're singing it to see how well you can hit the notes. As far as riffing and all that stuff, which I certainly do, you know, I don't plan those things. They come out because they are an extension of the words. So all of that stuff, I hate the word organic because it's so overused, but it must be. It must be, let me put it this way. It must not be how you sing. It has to be why you sing. Why you sing. If anybody's got an instrument that allows them, anybody can do how to sing. We are touched by why people sing.
Well, let me ask you, is there a song, be it from show tunes or the American Songbook or maybe even pop, that you know you do the best, that is so tailored to who you are, that when you sing it, everybody knows how, why, where, what, who?
Well, you know, I've been, I guess, lucky to have been associated with Over the Rainbow, which I started on Star Search, and it's sort of become a signature for me. So there was a period in which I really didn't use it because I felt I was over it. But then I've continued to rediscover it, and that's the cool thing about a great song, is that as you grow and as you have more experiences, so then do you find new things to say. You know, that song in particular is about hope, or it's about regret, or it's about triumph, or it's about getting over or struggling through something. It's so many things, that all of which I've experienced by seeing it so long.
Well, where is it now for when you sing it now? Where is it, or does it vary by the week?
It can vary by what I had for lunch. No, seriously.
Yes, of course.
I mean, it's like what happens that day. I mean, I think more in general today when I sing it, it's about the dreams really do come true part. That might sound a little schmaltzy, but it's about the dreams really do come true. I look at my life now and my family and my husband and my child and my career, and that I'm always reinventing myself, and that I am a happy person. At one point, why can't I? I know when I first started singing, it was like, why not me? Why can't that be me? Why can't I? And now, it's like, why the fuck not? Why can't it be me? Why can't it be you? Why not?
And of course it is you, because you have this truly great life in entertainment and in quote-unquote real life. By the way, we're talking with Sam Harris. He's the author of Ham, A Slice of Life. Wish you would change that title, but it's from Gallery Books. That's where you can get it. Can they get it from a website of yours? Can they get it from samharris.com?
You can get Simon & Schuster. You can get it from their website. You can get it at Amazon. You can get it at bookstores. You can get it at samharris.com. It's everywhere.
Now, what gave you...
Wait a minute, Rabbi. Should I have titled it Trace?
There you go. There you go. Trafe would work, or even go whole hog and finally do that conversion, and you could call it brisket.
Brisket is good. Or what if I just called it ham?
That's racist. No, I'm kidding. But let me ask
now, you know what? We have to get to the show and the film, because this is so important to me. This is what's happening now.
Oh, that's right. You're raising money through a Kickstarter campaign to take this book, this Ham, A Slice of Life, and are you trying to do a documentary, or are you doing a biodrama, or what?
What happened was from the book, a play came from it called Ham, A Musical Memoir, in which I played in New York and Los Angeles, which was really, really successful in both places, with best reviews of my life. And where the book is a collection of stories that are not chronological, the play, the musical, is chronological and original music, as well as some other music, and goes through my life. And there are some larger themes. It's certainly specific to me, but it's kind of for everybody. And it's been so successful, thank God.
Well, that is Jewish. You are partly Jewish. There's no question. But so you want to do the film of the musical?
We're remounting it
Yeah.
on stage in the Pasadena Playhouse in Los Angeles, which is the most stunning theater in town, I think. And we're remounting it and filming the live show. And we're filming 3 shows, so we have 12, 14 different shots and angles. And we are turning this into a DVD. We have interest from cable outlets that want to air it. There's a lot going on. But we are doing it through Kickstarter, and we have, it's up at June 10th. And so we have to get the rest of our funding in order to make that happen. Because with Kickstarter, you get it all or you get nothing.
Oh, you opted for that. See, when Dave, who hosts this radio program, when he was doing his play The Miracle of Long John's last year, one of the things that he decided was to go with Indiegogo, because if you didn't make your goal, you could still keep, which as it happened, he made his goal and then some. But he took the safe way out.
Well, Indiegogo is fantastic, and yes, you do get to keep your money. But Kickstarter, we chose Kickstarter because it's more frequented by people who are looking for projects. It has a more high profile. And, people who are, it's not only the people who go to you because they're friends or fans, it's also people who are just looking for projects that are interesting. Kickstarter has, they have thousands and thousands of things that are trying to get funding. There are 650 just in film and video. But we've been fortunate because we've become a project that we love. We've become new and noteworthy. We're on the most popular. We're doing this. Meanwhile, it's so stressful, and people told me, when you do this, the first week is a big hit. People are coming in. They're excited about the announcement. Then the next 2 weeks are kind of lull out a little bit.
Right.
And then the last week is a big push. So we're in the middle, those middle 2 weeks. And, I've made a vow, actually. I've made a vow that I'm not going to look at the Kickstarter site until my birthday this Saturday.
Oh, mit Mazel. Oh, my God. This is happy birthday, by the way, then. This is airing now on your birthday. How old are you now? How old are you now?
I'll be 55.
What?
I think that's right. It's 55 or 45.
Well, 55 is the new 45, so either way.
That is true.
Miles, and you look great,
in
by the way.
Hollywood, it means you're dead.
Oh, well, please. If you're 25, you're almost dead already in Hollywood these days.
Exactly.
No, but let me ask you, what is your goal? What is your Kickstarter goal? And last time you looked, where were you at?
Our goal for the whole project is $100,000.
Wow, okay.
And the last time I looked we were at 50%, and we had 11 or 12 days to go.
Oh, you should be fine.
You think?
Yeah. And if you're not...
I actually believe it. I think I'm very, very confident. And I think the reason I'm confident, first of all, I've had so many good friends that are also celebrities endorse it, do videos to go on the site, which, by the way, is samhamshow.com. Oh, my God, Rabbi.
What?
You have to go see this, and all of your listeners, because there is a pitch video on which, called at samhamshow.com. What happened was my manager and I were talking about what should the pitch video be, because, when you go on, they talk for like 4 minutes about what their project is.
Right.
Before you see their sizzle reel or any of that. So we decided to make the pitch video about the pitch video.
Oh, cute.
So we decided I was going to get some improv friends to play different characters, and then I'm like, why don't I play them all? That's kind of what the show is anyway. So I play myself. I play a sleazy producer who does have a Star of David on his neck, I'm just saying.
Is there any other kind?
And then a publicist who's vaping all the time, and she's like, does anybody mind if I vape? And then there's a very sort of gayish agent, and then an intern who only texts. So, and they're very funny characters, and I wrote it, and we edited it, and you will laugh just at the pitch video. But then when you go further on it, there's the sizzle reel of the show. Then I have endorsements from Jesse Tyler Ferguson and Jason Alexander and Bridget Moynihan and Lizzie Kaplan and John Cho and Josh Stamberg and Bridget Moynihan and Jason Ritter, all these friends who saw the show and said, I want to help you do this.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So It really is. It's great. So I feel supported. I feel confident, but it's really nerve-wracking.
Well, don't forget, you can also, I mean, there's the end run you can do. If you're let's say you're a day away and 20 grand short, you put your own 20 grand in there, and then you make sure that way you hit the 100,000, and
no, you're
boom.
So tricky.
I'm Jewish. What can I tell you? It's an open secret, though, and then, if you have to do it, there's ways. If you have enough money to just put it in, you get most of it back, except a certain percentage that Kickstarter will take. But that way, if people gave 80,000, you're keeping it. It doesn't just go away.
To consider, and hopefully we won't need to do that.
Hopefully you should make to 120, as my people say.
Then I could actually get paid, which never happened.
Oh, well. Well, I mean, but you, I'm sure, make a living from concerts. We haven't seen you on Broadway in a while.
Talking about when you start your own project.
Oh, yeah.
When you're producing something, you're the last on the list. But that's okay, because it's my project. It's what I love. It's my story.
Exactly.
And of course, there's money to be made down the line, and if it's on airs on television. But right now, it's about getting the thing filmed.
Now, one of the most popular I don't know if it's in the musical, but one of the most popular parts of the book, if you read all those very, very laudatory Amazon reviews, is a chapter about your friendship with Liza with a Z. And specifically, speaking of weird marriages, hers. Can you give us a little taste?
You know what?
What?
I know it's funny. I know it's in the book. They'll have to read it. But right now, I'd really rather not go down that road. I'd rather pass.
Oh, okay. Then what about...
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it will get people to read the book. It's just about when she was married to David Guest and all of that craziness there.
It was a circus. It was a circus, and, as a good friend, I was on the very inside of it. I will tell you this. They did ask me to sing at the wedding Bridge Over Troubled Water, which was a peculiar choice for a wedding, but then did turn out to be prophetic. That was just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot there. It's funny.
Okay. So maybe if we don't want to talk about that, how about the show for which you were, I believe, Tony, nominated? Oh, wait. Were you talking about
Life.
The Life. The last, I think, original new Cy Coleman musicals. No, other shows have been revivals and things, or have used his music. So did you get to meet and work with Cy Coleman?
Oh, God, every day.
And?
I was like a kid. He was so, so joyful about the process. He was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And the great thing about doing an original musical is they start to write on you and for you and arrange for you. So it was thrilling. I had so many great songs, that some of which have become part of my catalog. It was incredible. There's those black market videos of Broadway shows because they don't ever let anybody film anything.
Right.
Somebody sits in the first row of the mezzanine with a coat on their lap, under which is a camera, and they shoot the show.
Well, one hopes there's a camera under there. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's pretty crappy, but, blurry, but it exists. It's archival. Well, I just now recently saw the one from the Life, and oh my God, it was just an amazing cast, beautiful, amazing music, and an incredible story, and I had never seen it before.
Unless maybe did you check with the public library up at Lincoln? Oh, because you're in California, so.
Yeah, well, I get to New York, but no, I've never done that. It's weird. I mean, this sort of came to me, and so I looked. I don't typically, because I just look critically. Like somebody said something the other day about they were listening to a record of mine, and I said I'll have to listen to that someday. I tend to not really focus on what I've done. I don't know. I think I look at it too critically.
Now, speaking of being critical, and also critical about yourself, one of the aspects of the book and your story is that, okay, so you realized you were gay, you left Oklahoma, you came to New York. Why did you feel depressed and suicidal and alcoholic if you were coming to terms with the fact that, okay, hey, I'm away from Oklahoma, I can be who I want to be?
Well, the suicide attempt was when I was 16. I had left home. I had fallen in love with a boy that I was doing a show with. This is before I went to Los Angeles or New York. And and then I was supposed to go back home, which I did for a few months before I left again for good. And, I just sort of realized that even though I found love, I had experienced it for the first time, but it was so taboo, and I couldn't share it with anyone. It was almost that I was worse for having known love. And it's so rather than it being joyous, it became something that I could never have. It became the thing that could never be. The idea of being married, and not even to mention having a child, was completely unfathomable. There were no role models. There was no mention of it. There was no literature, no characters on television or movies. No one was out, and it was so isolating. And so I think that after that experience of having really, truly loved for the first time, it seemed futile. And so that's what created that. I didn't really come to terms with being open and out until years later, and then not even publicly till years after that.
And so did you drink to get away from yourself?
You know what? I believe that alcoholism is genetic.
Oh.
I think it's sort of proven. I know that it is. So there are genes, you're predisposed to it. Whether or not you fall into it is another subject, I suppose. But you're genetically predisposed or you're not. And I think that different life situations and incidents and just time created it. Ultimately, it became a very, very big problem. Also depressing and isolating. And I think if I hadn't got sober, I'm not sure I'd be around. So it was a very big thing.
Well, was there a hitting bottom moment, and then you woke up that morning and said, "Oh, AA time"?
Yes. And this is in the book as well. Actually, my friend that you were talking about, Liza, had been in a rehab and invited me for Family Week. So I went, and there were all these exercises and things about alcoholism and responsibility, and I was going through all these exercises with her. And of course, you can't really drink at a rehab place, even as a guest. So I was like coming off of it. I was detoxing. I was shaking. I was a big mess. And at the end of that, I really had to come to terms with it, and that became my bottom, which had already really existed in my isolation and just general sadness. My life changed dramatically after that.
So do you go to meetings, or you don't?
Yes.
Wow, so it's an ongoing life. So how long has it been?
12 years.
You have your chip. Mazel tov. Mazel tov.
Thank you.
But the other thing, and I've always wondered about this, is like if you give up smoking, you get fat because you replace it with food, you sublimate. How do you get off something like alcohol without sublimating it into something? It wouldn't be work because you're already working and singing and doing.
Well, first of all, because your sugar intake goes down, you can lose weight as opposed to smoking where you gain weight. When I stopped drinking, I was encouraged to eat anything I wanted, candy, have in my pockets for the sugar, smoke, do whatever, just don't drink. And then, but my weight has always gone up and down. Right now I'm so large, it's just huge. I've just ballooned, and I'm on some sort of a crazy exercise and diet regime because I'm getting ready to film this project.
Now, wait a minute. When a gay man says that he's huge, he's ballooned, it means he's 4 pounds overweight. You do realize this?
Oh, I gained 30 pounds.
Oh. Whoa.
But I was terribly thin. I was so thin. I looked like a Barbie doll. Well, not really. I didn't have the breasts.
Yeah.
But I was very, very thin, and then I gained weight. But, I'm going to get there. I'm way back now. I've been exercising like just crazy.
But wait, now I'm a little confused because you gave up alcohol 12 years ago. How come you put on the weight so recently?
Well, they're not related. They're not related.
Oh.
I lost weight then, I gained weight, I lose, I gain. But, I'm an addict, so I eat too much. I exercise. Everything I do is pretty much in extreme. It's not good. Moderation is not my thing.
Oh, boy.
That's why I'm a workaholic. That's why I dedicate fully, which can be a very, very good thing, but then come back to kick you in the ass.
Well, let me ask, maybe do you go to a gym? Maybe you could become a gymaholic. That could like
I have done that several times.
Yeah.
When I was playing Jesus in Jesus Christ Superstar, I decided that he should be super cut and buff. I worked very hard at that because you're going to hang on a cross.
Right,
You want
yeah.
to look good. You want to look good.
You don't want your gut hanging over that last nail. Yeah.
Exactly. And and then I was in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, in which I wore only a I was a Jew.
Right.
And I wore only a loincloth.
Well, Jesus was a Jew too, but yeah.
Yes, of course. I just
So you're making a habit of playing with Jews, yeah.
Jews who have a six-pack.
Oh, why not? Well, there are a couple. I'm not one by any stretch
There
of the
are only a
imagination.
couple, Saul. There are only a couple. And I played both of them.
Another show that you were on Broadway, but we have just a couple more minutes here with the delightful and fun and getting slimmer, Sam Harris. You came into the run of one of the most popular hit shows of the past 20 years, The Producers.
Yeah.
And you played Carmen Gia.
Uh-huh.
Now, were you opposite at that point, Nathan and Matthew, or
my Roger Dupree was played by Gary Beach, who won the Tony.
Right.
And we were a couple in the show, and I had never replaced before. I'd always been on the long process, so it was scary because I'd learned it. I rehearsed a week. I was put in, and I went. I was terrified, and so but Gary Beach was so inventive and made it fresh so much. And before we would go out, he would say, "Let's scare them," or he would say, "Let's pretend we've had a few cocktails," and he would say things that would just inform us that nobody else knew, but kept it interesting for us. And, in The Producers, there's no such thing as being too much or too large. There's no, subtlety is not the key. And so it was just great fun. It felt like you could just do anything.
and you didn't feel...
were wonderful.
You didn't have to feel that you had to imitate Roger Bart or even Andreas Voutsinas from the movie.
No, not at all. And they were very great about that. It was clear that Susan Stroman and Mel Brooks had hired me to see what I would do with the role. They did not ask me to duplicate anything, and I had a completely different characterization than Roger did. He was so brilliant, and it would have been foolish for me to try to recreate that. So I brought my own shtick to the table.
Absolutely, and I'm sorry I did not get to see you in the show. I mean, Roger Bart was fine, but it would have been nice to see you as Carmen Gia and doing that. So can I ask, obviously you're putting all your energies now into the Kickstarter campaign for Ham. What was the website again?
Say that again?
What was the website again for the Kickstarter for the Ham?
SamHamShow.com.
SamHamShow.com. SamHamShow.com. But you need to also be putting your energies into acting and singing and appearing. So where can we see you?
I just finished the first draft of the next book, which is fiction. It's not another collection of stories. It's fiction. Just finished that. I'm currently negotiating another television special, which will be great. And then I'm planning on touring in the spring. I don't tour like I used to because I'm a dad first and foremost. So that's my obligation is to my family. But I will be going out in the spring again. And, that's a full plate for now.
Oh, absolutely. No, I mean, totally. And it is so great that you've been able to take some time out and talk with us. Can you tell us, lastly, Sam Harris, one more little anecdote that you can tell us from your book? The second book is fiction, so from your current book, Ham.
Oh, my God. That's so hard for me.
Okay.
I'm totally stumped about my own life. Wow, isn't that amazing? This is what I do also with songs that I write. Those are the ones that I can't remember the lyrics to. So I wish I could be clever right now. I can't think of... Oh, I know one.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
You're flipping through the book as we speak now. All right, well, let me ask you a different question then. Point to someone who was either besides Liza, someone who was a great mentor to you, or someone that you watched at a certain age and said, oh, I could do that, I want to do that, etc.
You'll think it's odd, but my influences when I was a kid were very, very varied. I loved Lucille Ball. I mean, she completely changed my life or influenced my life because of the timing and the rhythm of what She did, and the confidence from which she came. I loved Charlie Chaplin. I loved these people who created these iconic images and characters. I was also heavily influenced at a very young age by singers like Billie Holiday, people who sang with their soul, who told stories. So most of my influences were not my contemporaries or even the time of my growing up at all. I was into Tom Waits, who is not a vocalist, but he's a storyteller. These are the people I have learned from.
I love Tom Waits, aside from the fact that we have the same speaking voice. But is there a Tom Waits song that you often do in concert or on your albums?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Is there a Tom Waits song that you do in concert or is one on one of your albums?
Yes, there's a song that he wrote. Well, I've done Martha before in a whole character setting.
That's an early one.
There's a song he wrote called Rainbow Sleeves that Ricky Lee Jones recorded that is just spectacular, and I love it. But he's a genius.
Oh well, yes, no argument there, and you could do worse. Picking people like Tom and Billie Holiday, for gosh sakes.
But isn't that interesting, though? I mean, I'm hearing it isn't interesting. I was like, Sam, you're so interesting. That these people who were my influences musically were not necessarily, well, certainly Aretha. I know you're starving. I had to give my kid matzo ball soup. They were storytellers more than vocalists. I mean, Aretha certainly is both, because she had that amazing instrument, and she came from the place where she learned why to sing and not how, and that was the church. So, and then she turned it into popular music. I love Sam Cooke. I love Jackie Wilson. I love all music, except country. I'm not a big country fan.
I know, me neither. I just, maybe because it's rednecks and they frighten me and would want to burn a cross on my lawn, perhaps. That could be it. But I, one day, hope to burn a Jewish star on your lawn, Sam Harris. You'll be a Jew someday. You're so close.
Just let's pretend I am.
Okay. Well, in doing so, then I will thank you. I will say Toda Rabbah, which means thank you very much, Sam Harris, for being in the neighborhood with us. Everyone go to samhamshow.com to donate to the Kickstarter campaign to get that movie made. It sounds wonderful, and we want to see more of you and hear more of you. Shmuel Harris.
And also, people love the pitch video. You have to watch the pitch video because you will laugh your tuchus off. Oh boy, I can't wait. I'm going to do that as soon as we're off the phone. Thank you. Shmuel, thank you so much. Thank you so much.